Hey students, welcome to Lifetime Activities. This will be lesson 4. And so we're going to go over this. This lesson is being recorded. So if we were holding it live, and if we were holding it live, but this is just recorded, we would just have these virtual expectations that I would have you follow. All right. We'd also look at writing in the chat about this. So this is something to think about. Tennis, really good individual activity, something that we'll speak about today and that we're going to talk about. Think about how old you think the oldest professional tennis player is. Okay. So something to think about. You may have to Google it and find out, but that is her name, Gail Falkenberg. So little bit to there. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to warm up with some brain fuel here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to run in place. And I'm not in my workout stuff right now, but that's okay. We're going to run in place for 30 seconds. Get ready. You can count this on your activity log as well. So here's just some things that you can do for your activity log. Makes it pretty easy. Simple things, okay? Now, what you can do, the next one that we're going to go into is what we call bicep curls, okay? Bicep curls, this is the one where, you have the guys at the gym, they sit in the mirror and they sit there and lift it up like this. So what you want to do is you want to get something that weighs a little bit of weight, okay? And you can just work on that bicep, get a little pumped, you know what I mean? Okay, you want something a little bit heavier than what I'm doing, but that's some options for you there. Okay, the next one, this is really good to kind of work your shoulders. You actually feel a really good burning in your shoulders after a while. Do arm circles. Keep your thumbs up. Work around. You can do backwards, forwards. You can do bigger arm circles. Works a little bit more of your shoulders. But the more you do that, it's going to burn your shoulders there, right there. And then everybody's favorite, crunches. The good thing about crunches, I don't even know if it's going to go down this low. Anyway, so you don't want to go all the way up. You've probably seen a crunch before, but you can look at doing those. I'm too lazy to get on the ground right now, but those are some things you can work on a little bit to put on your activity log right there. Okay, so now since we're thinking clearly, maybe from a little bit of exercise, get that camera down a little bit. Okay, let's move on. Okay, what we're going to be doing, make sure you're participating, being positive, encourage others, add to the lesson, be active, present, take notes, ask questions, discuss. Continuous 30-minute daily sustainable moderate to vigorous physical activity. That's what we'll be looking for on our activity log. Just think of something, walking around the street, doing some of these activities that we're going to be talking about today would all be something good that you can put on your activity log. The last one is elevate yourself, how you can motivate yourself to be better and meet your goals and feel better, right? When we're moving, we're feeling better going on there. Okay, how can you do good in this class? Two things, right? Where we've been, okay? You got weekly quizzes and you have activity log. Where we're going, we're going to have weekly quizzes and activity log. So if you haven't done the activity logs yet, go back and do them. I'll still accept them. Also, the weekly quizzes, go get them done. And let me just jump into the class real quick so you can see here. As you can see, the class recordings, which have the word of the week on them, are all in these recordings right here, okay? So make sure you hit those recordings up and you have, them. If you look at plan, I have a couple things on here. So I'm recording this on the 13th, but the 14th is when I'm going to send it out. But as you can see, some things are due. Your last week's motor skills quiz and then your activity log. The next week, you're going to have the individual activities quiz that we're going to go over today. And then also the activity logs due today as well. So those are the things. And then we'll have a live class next week. End of the block is the 18th. So make sure you are getting ready for that. As we're going into here, week 4, okay, which is unit 3, we have the quiz, which is right here. Make sure that you stay till the end or listen to the end of this class so you can get the word of the week. And everything is in this kind of class. Then you also have the activity log. If you click this thing right here, it's going to take you to here where you can make a copy, okay? And you can make a copy of this activity log. This will be your copy, and you can either get a link and share it with me, or you can download it and put it in there. But that's how I can get your access to your activity log. You're just going to put on what type of exercise you did, how long you did it for, etc. Okay. So that is the goal of the class here. Okay, we're going to be talking about lifetime activities. Okay. Lifetime activities are something that you can do and more individualized. Okay, like cycling. Golf is an individual activity I like doing. I like swimming, hiking, tennis, a lot of tennis, badminton, kayaking, things that are, we'll go over exactly a little bit more of what there are in just a second. Okay. So what are lifetime activities? They are called lifetime activities because they are the following. Okay. So this is something you want to think about for your quiz. They're less risky. Okay. You have some activities, take for example, football. Okay. I used to play football. I liked football, but am I playing football anymore? No, because the risk of injury is very high. You can get hurt a lot. There's concussions that happen a lot. A lot of those things you just can't do over time. So they're less risky and you can continue on with them. Okay. Less risky, less risk of injury, simple to learn. Okay. So a lot of these ones, you're hitting something back and forth. So the skills that you need to build towards them are not as hard as they possibly would be in some other circumstances. Okay. A lot of them have minimal equipment, which is nice because it's hard to keep buying for certain things over and over again. You don't want it to be super expensive, and they can be performed in multiple environments. Okay. So another example, Pilates, that would be considered. You got a lot of those kind of activities that people are looking there for. Okay, so here are some things, right? Tennis, badminton, ping pong, pickleball. Pickleball is really fun. Pilates, that I talked about before. Ballroom dancing. Okay, cycling, bowling, curling, canoeing, walking, hiking, swimming, water aerobics, golf, yoga, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, sailing, and martial arts. Okay. But the goals of these activities are, some of them are competitive, but you're more competitive against yourself and doing things there. So a lot of these goals are to have fun, to learn a skill, improve, and also to get fit. Okay. Something important we've talked about multiple times in this class, that you need to continue to move your body and get it working properly in order to be healthy throughout your life. Okay. So when you're working with these things, what they talk about is first, you need to work with a coach. Okay. So since learning a new skill is energizing, working with a coach, somebody that understands the skills, the movements that you need to know. As I said, the lifetime activities or individual activities that way are some that the skills aren't hard, but it's doing there. So for example, racquetball. I had somebody I was teaching with in a brick and mortar school one time, and he's like, "Hey, come play racquetball with me." And I said, "Okay." Now this guy was in his 60s, and think about it, like I was in my 20s at the time. So we went and played racquetball, and he absolutely killed me in racquetball. I was running back and forth around the thing, and he was just hitting the ball in certain areas, getting to the areas where I couldn't get the ball up in the corners. And he was really good because he had those skills down in order to be able to be successful. So once you get those skills down and you understand them, it's really good. And it was really good exercise. He didn't run nearly as much as I did, but it was good. Okay. Second, consider joining a team or at least pairing with a friend when you play your sport. Okay. This is fun. Even though these things are more individualized, but it's fun to play a little bit against somebody else. It's fun to be able to play on teams with other people. So, for example, as I said, racquetball, you can go and you can play in pairs. So you can have a team and you play against another team. And it's really fun to be able to get in there and work on it together. And finally, take it slow and steady. You may start out thrilled with your new exercise program and decide to block out time for it every day. Resist that temptation. The most successful programs seldom develop that way. Most long-term successful comes from starting small, experiencing success, and building slowly on that success. I find this too, that sometimes we get so excited about things, we jump into it and we want to do it all the time, and then we get sick of it, right? So we need to not take it slow, learn the activity, get good at it, and work at it from there. So those are the advice from Stick with Exercise for a Lifetime book. Okay, we're gonna go over not a lesson, but an activity that is very good for you. It's very fun. There's actually different variations of the game, but if you haven't played ping pong before, this is something that's very fun to play. It is physically active. You're getting moving back and forth. I'll tell you how we did in college. I used to do a version of this. It wasn't as fun, but it was fun, but I wouldn't do it anytime today because it hurt. And I'll tell you about that in a second. But this video is going to show you how to play it that way. So I'm going to mute myself and then play the video.
School of Bows. Lesson 1, How to Ping Pong. Ping pong is easy and anybody can do it, but for all you pitiful beginners, here's the least you need to know to get you started. Look at this table. It's a ping pong table. It has 2 halves, one for you and one for your opponent. This is a bat. You use this to hit the ball. I can't believe you didn't know that. Start the game by serving. 1 bounce your side, 1 bounce their side. Good serve. If you hit the net, and it goes over, you get another chance to serve, but fail to make it over. That's a point lost. Scoring a point is simple. You hit the ball bounces on their side, and they fail to return it. This is the basis of ping pong. You're trying to make it hard for your opponent to return the ball, thereby earning points. It's the first to 21, by the way, or 15, or 11, okay 11. To recap, you can pick up points if your opponent fails to return the ball on the table, your opponent hits the ball into net, your opponent volleys ball, your opponent touches table with their free hand or moves it. Don't touch it. What did I say? Obviously this works in reverse. You touch the table, etc., they score a point. Stop touching the table.
All right, so hopefully that gave you a little bit about how to play ping pong. I'll tell you the version that we used to play when I was in college. We'd play what we call around the world. And so you'd have 4 people and we'd run around the table and we'd hit it to the next person. Then you'd have to rotate around. Well, we'd say ping So if you were to miss it after a while, right, because you're running around so much, we try to make it hard for the next person, or you faulted, which means you hit it off, you became like a P. So kind of like pig, like in basketball. So when we became PING, what you had to do was go on the other side of the table, and we turn our backs, and you'd have to lift up your shirt, and everybody had a chance to go and hit the ping pong ball at you. And if they hit you really good, they would leave these big, huge marks on your back. So, anyways, that's probably not the best way to play ping pong. That's the way to hurt yourself. But ping pong is a really fun sport. A lot of fun to kind of do it there. Okay. Here's a little bit of more of the rules of how to do it if that interests you some more. But your word of the week, okay, that you want to put in your quiz is future. Future. Okay, future. So make sure you get that word of the week. Thank you all for coming. If you do have some questions, you can contact me here, but I'll leave that up for a second. So it is future, the word of the week. So thanks everybody. Have a great day, and we will talk to you next week.